Hey guys and girls, it's Lee Brown with PSKOOK Survival School and Eco Survival Group, and I picked up an item on Amazon that I want to kind of give a little bit of a review, and honestly I want to share it with people because it's awesome value for what you get. So the company is PSKOOK. It's PSKOOK. They are based out of China. This is called the Paracord Survival Kit, Fire Kit. It is basically paracord with the fire cord inside of it. It has a striker that has a great striking surface on it, and then it has about a 3/4 inch ferrocerium rod attached to that. The necklace is adjustable so that you can get it over your head, and then you can adjust it to be as tight as you want it. So what I thought I'd do, when PSKOOK sends it to you, they give you a little sample piece of the fire cord. So I thought we would try the fire cord out, take a look at it, talk about what we could do with it, and then also test the kit with some other materials, some regular kind of household type stuff, and then some things that I've gathered from nature, from the wild. So if we come in closer, we'll try and work on the kit. So this is the fire cord. I ordered the tan because I like the tan better, but it's going to be, let's check and make sure it's actually 7-strand paracord. 3, 6, 7, yeah, and then it has the bonus fire cord inside of it, and on top of that it has a bonus, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it has a bonus fishing line inside of it. So basically in your kit, all you would really have to drop the fishing cord. All you would really need to have is some fish hooks and maybe some tinder material if you were going to try to make this work in a wild environment. So with the paracord fire tinder, we're going to want to rough that up a bit. Any sort of tinder, we want to broaden the space of it as much as we can. I can kind of tell that it's really nice and covered with wax, so that's going to help it be a lot more waterproof. Maybe we can take the scraper and kind of scrape it up, get it pulled out into more expanded form so that we can strike it a little bit better. And the striker's a little sharp, so it's just cutting it. Now I have not used PSKOOK's cord before. I kind of bought this on a whim because it was such a great deal on Amazon. So I honestly just am going to assume that this is going to work the same as most other tinder paracord. Now as soon as I get a ferro rod, I'm going to scrape it to see how it sparks. So we'll turn it over and use the other side so that you can see when you first purchase it, you're going to have a black coating that protects it from corrosion, because ferrocerium rods corrode really rapidly. It's part of why they work so well. You're going to see that the striker is going to have sort of an angled or a beveled surface. We want to put the most abrupt edge against the ferro rod, scrape it a few times, make sure we get all the protective coating off of it, and then once we get it striking well, we'll try and actually strike our tinder. So that stuff is killer. Works really well, and I have not tested it while it was wet. I will do that in the future, but man, that burns great. So let's say you were in a situation and you had your necklace on, you used the cord that was there. This is supposedly 34 inches of this cordage, so that gives you 34 inches of fishing line that you can actually add. You can use the fishing line as a leader, and you can take the inner strands of the paracord and tie those together. You can get yourself 10-15 feet pretty easy, pretty quick with what you got, and just tie the leader on the end to put the hook on. So if we used all of our tinder out of the cord, if we were stateside or local somewhere, one of the most popular tinders that everybody uses is just a cotton ball with Vaseline on it, and this is just the Vaseline I carry as chapstick. It's awesome because I can lubricate my knives with it, but you can also take it and mix it into your cotton ball and kind of do in the field what a lot of people do to prepare things at home. You can actually scrape your pants with a sharp blade and scrape up enough lint to get together to use with this Vaseline to hold a pretty good flame long enough to get things ignited. So we're just going to rub the Vaseline into it as well as we can. Then we're going to see if we can strike it with our PSKOOK. So actually we're going to clean our hand up because the Vaseline's all icky and I don't want to get my necklace icky. So let's give it a shot. Boom, instantly, one strike. That's fantastic. And that petroleum, the Vaseline, is going to really elongate the burn time from the cotton ball. Going to extend that quite a bit. So one other item that's a pretty, I'm going to put that out, let's see. Well, we'll just let, matter of fact, we'll let it sit over there and burn so you can kind of see how long that'll burn if we leave it alone with the petroleum on it. One other household item that people don't really realize is an excellent fuel or kind of a kindling to get your fire started is hand sanitizer. Pretty prevalent all over the world. So let's see if it'll spark up with the PSKOOK. Yeah, it's burning now. And because I knew you weren't going to be able to see that burning very well, what I've got here, this is river birch bark. This you can find in any urban environment, anywhere. This is all over the world. It's an ornamental tree people plant for making things look pretty. But it's also a super duper fire starter. So let me just show you how well the birch bark burns and how well the, so you can see that you can't see that flame. You can actually feel it if you put your hand over it. But the hand sanitizer is actually burning. So that birch bark will burn really well. We see our Vaseline soaked cotton ball is still burning nicely. Now try to put the sanitizer out. With that birch bark, if this was all we could find for tinder, if we really crush it up fine as we can, and try to get it into a really fine dust, or we can take our PSKOOK and we can actually scrape it to get some fine surface. And there goes our knife. So let's see if we can get that to ignite. This is a little tricky even with a larger ferro rod sometimes, because you need to keep that spark focused for a minute or two on that birch bark, and it goes right up. Man, this thing is really fantastic. So there we go. If you can't find this in your neighborhood, you're not looking hard enough, because it's in some neighbor's yard. If you live in an apartment complex, it's all around. That's off of a river birch tree. I guess the final natural product that we want to see if we can light with it is going to be fat wood. That's another really prevalent thing that's all around us, whether we're in an urban environment or in a rural environment. And this scraper is so good that you can actually use it to scrape up the chunks of fat wood to create your tinder or your kindling. It's going to take a spark really well and help us to ignite it. We want to scrape it so we get as fine of curls as we can. The finer we get something, then the easier it is to ignite it with just a spark. We really kind of are going to want about a quarter-sized pile of this. We're going to see if we can do it with a slightly smaller pile, because while this thing is an excellent scraper, it is kind of hard on your hands doing it for some length of time. So let's see if it will ignite the fat wood, or the fat lighter wood. instantaneous once again. So that fat wood has a resin that's going to help it burn for a long period of time. I really cannot say enough about how good this little necklace is. I mean, it's fantastic. I love the fact that it adjusts so easily, and the way it strikes, it's just fantastic. It's got probably the best striker that I've ever seen on a necklace like this. And this thing is like $8 in the US. I mean, that's so cheap. I've got other versions of this that are $28, and honestly, I don't think they work as good. So highly, as a professional survival instructor, recommend the PSKOOK Survival Paracord Fire Kit.